In this lecture, we will talk about the urethritis. So, this urethritis means inflammation of the urethra by some infecting organisms. So, what are the organisms which can cause urethritis? So, based on that, we can classify urethritis into the gonococcal urethritis and the non-gonococcal urethritis. So, urethritis is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae, and non-gonococcal urethritis can be caused by some other bacteria, viruses, fungi, or parasites. So, we have classified based on whether the causative agent is gonococcus or not. So if the causative agent is gonococcus, then we will call it as gonococcal urethritis. If it is any other organism other than gonococcus, then we will call it as non-gonococcal urethritis. Now that non-gonococcal urethritis can be caused by bacteria, viruses, fungi, and parasites. So the bacteria which can cause this non-gonococcal urethritis are the Chlamydia trachomatis, and more important than chlamydia is Ureaplasma urealyticum. Okay, so these are the two bacteria which can cause urethritis other than gonococcus. And in among viruses, the herpes simplex virus is the virus which can cause urethritis. Among fungi, the Candida albicans may cause this non-gonococcal urethritis, and among parasites, the Trichomonas vaginalis may cause this non-gonococcal urethritis. Now, come why we have classified the urethritis among gonococcal and non-gonococcal. There must have been certain differences between them, certain specific differences between them. That's why we have classified the urethritis into gonococcal and non-gonococcal urethritis. So what are those differences? So let's see that differences. So gonococcal urethritis, if you see onset, then the onset of the gonococcal urethritis is within 48 hours, while non-gonococcal urethritis, the origin is more than 1 week. Okay, onset is more than 1 week. Now if we talk about the discharge, so in gonococcal urethritis the discharge is purulent, but in case of non-gonococcal urethritis it is mucus to mucopurulent. In complications we have, in gonococcal urethritis we see that there disseminated gonococcal infection. That means the gonococcal infection spreads by the bloodstream. And non-gonococcal urethritis, the complications are the Reiter syndrome, in which we see conjunctivitis, arthritis, and urethritis as a uh, triad of signs. Okay, so conjunctivitis, arthritis, and urethritis are seen all together in case of Reiter syndrome, and this Reiter syndrome is a complication of the non-gonococcal urethritis. So, what is the difference in diagnosis? The difference in diagnosis is that on gram staining, there will be difference in gram staining and culture. The gonococcus can be cultured on the Thayer-Martin media, while the non-gonococcal urethritis, which may be caused by chlamydia or Trichomonas vaginalis or Candida albicans, they are cultured on different uh, media. So chlamydia can be cultured on the McCoy and HeLa cell lines, while Trichomonas uh, are identified by trophozoites, and the Candida are identified by the budding yeast cells in the discharge. So that is the difference in diagnosis of the gonococcal and non-gonococcal urethritis. So in gonococcal urethritis, the drug of choice is the ceftriaxone, while the non-gonococcal urethritis, depending on the organism, the drug of choice varies. Like in case of chlamydia, the drug of choice is doxycycline. In trichomonas, the drug of choice is metronidazole, and in case of candida, it is clotrimazole. So this is all about the between the differences between the gonococcal and the non-gonococcal urethritis. Coming to the gonococcal urethritis, so first we'll see about the gonococcal urethritis. So gonococcal urethritis are caused by the gonococcus, and the onset will be less than 48 hours. Okay, less onset will be less than 48 hours, and discharge will be purulent. So based on based on these features, we can diagnose whether it is gonococcal or non-gonococcal urethritis. So whenever the questions will be given, there must will be some onset duration, the type of discharge will be there. Okay, so based on these two features we can diagnose whether it is gonococcal or non-gonococcal urethritis. These two features will must be given there. Okay, so after you have seen or I mean clinically you have diagnosed that it is a gonococcal urethritis, you have to diagnose it in the laboratory, and that's the question they will ask you, the laboratory diagnosis of this urethritis. So in the laboratory diagnosis of the gonococcal urethritis, first we have to write the specimen collection. So in any lab diagnosis we have to first write the specimen collection. So in case of gonococcal urethritis, we take urethral swab in case of the male patients, and in case of female patients we take the cervical swab. Okay, and what type of swab do we use? We use dacron swab. Cotton swab is inhibitory to the gonococcus, so we will not be using that cotton swab, rather we will be using that dacron swab only. Now what is the method of collection of that specimen? So for that, the urethral meatus is first cleaned with a gauge soaked in saline, and then the base of the penis is pressed and the purulent discharge is collected on the slide or the shaft. So this is a procedure how we collect the specimen. So after the specimen collection, next step we do have is the transport of the specimen. So that we used some certain transport media for the transport of the gonococcal specimen. So the transport media that we use is the Stewart's transport media, amines medium, Jembeck medium, or Gonopac system. So any one of these four transport media we can use for the transport of the gonococcal specimen. Then we try to do the direct detection. For that we make a smear on a clean glass slide with the urethral discharge, and then the smear is stained. The gonococci has a characteristic appearance of gram-negative kidney-shaped diplococci. Okay, so you should must remember this whole term. This whole term should be remembered, that the gonococci are gram-negative kidney-shaped diplococci. Okay, so once you detect this gram-negative kidney-shaped diplococci, then we can assume or we can get a clue that yes, it is gonococcus. Next, for the confirmation we do the culture, and culture is done on a selective media only, because the gonococci grows on a selective media, and that selective media is the Thyre-Martin medium, which is nothing but Thyre-Martin medium is nothing but the chocolate agar added with antibiotics. So chocolate agar, when it is added with the antibiotics, it is called as the Thyre-Martin medium. So that Thyre-Martin medium is used, and why do we use this? So because the antibiotics inhibit the normal commensals from the urinary tract. We know that the urethral tract contains many bacteria in its way. So and they also come out with the urine or with the discharge that we collect for the diagnosis. So that's why we have to remove those commensals first, otherwise they will grow and will lead to false results. So that's why we use the antibiotics to inhibit those commensals which can interfere with the results. Some other selective media are the modified New York City medium and the Martin Lewis medium. These are certain selective media that we use for the diagnosis of the or for the culturing of the gonococcal specimen. After that, after inoculation, so we inoculate into that selective media, and the media is incubated at 37 degrees C for 48 hours. And after that, certain colonies will be produced there, and with that, with those colonies of the bacteria, we will do some uh, we will detect them by the autosomal identification system or by the Malditop or Vitek by conventional biochemical methods. By the conventional biochemical methods. So, what are the conventional biochemical tests that we can use for diagnosis of the gonococci? Are the gonococci are catalase and oxidase, both positive, and glucose, they ferment the glucose, and maltose plus sucrose are not fermented. Maltose plus sucrose are not fermented. So this is how we can identify by conventional biochemical techniques. Nowadays, these conventional biochemical methods are not used. Rather, we directly go for the melt it off or bite it. But for the exam point of view, for writing in the exams, you have to must write these conventional biochemical tests. So based on that conventional biochemical test, we detect the bacteria. The next step in the lab diagnosis that we can do in any lab diagnosis of any organism, we can do the molecular methods where we detect the certain genes with the help of the PCR. So several PCR based assays have been developed till date which target a specific gene of the bacteria, and by that gene identification, so since it goes by the gene identification process, so it is very sensitive and very specific method as well. Okay, so diagnosis of the this is all about the diagnosis of gonococcal urethritis and urethritis. This is asked sometimes in the university exam, so this is important to know. And this difference is a very important difference between the gonococcal urethritis and non-gonococcal urethritis. These causative agents of non-gonococcal urethritis are also asked sometimes. So this is all about the urethritis and the lab diagnosis of the gonococcal urethritis.